Do you ever feel like something is holding you back, but you can't quite put your finger on it? What if the answers to your deepest fears and the key to unlocking your true potential are hidden in your birth chart, specifically in your 12th house? In this video, we're diving into one of the most mysterious and misunderstood houses in astrology. Often called the house of the subconscious, this is where your hidden fears, karmic lessons, and greatest opportunities for spiritual growth reside. Now, the 12th house isn't all doom and gloom. Your 12th house also hosts the secret to overcoming your biggest blocks and stepping into your higher self. Whether you're struggling with fears around vulnerability, perfectionism, or even trusting your intuition, I'll show you how the sign ruling your 12th house reveals exactly what you need to release, heal, and grow. Plus, I'll be sharing practical tips, spiritual practices, and journaling prompts tailored to your unique energy to help you transform your life. So grab your birth chart, find your 12th house sign, and let's get started with uncovering the hidden part of yourself that's waiting to be set free.
If you have Aries in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of independence, courage, and self expression. Aries is the sign of bold action, leadership, and individuality. But in the 12th house, these traits can feel suppressed, leaving you hesitant to assert yourself or take risk. Some fears and blocks that you may have that come with having Aries in your 12th house includes fear of taking initiative, fear of conflict, or fear of your own power. Deep down, you may fear failure or rejection if you take bold action or step into a leadership role. This can result in holding back your ideas or avoiding opportunities where you could shine. This could show up where you may talk yourself out of pursuing something exciting, thinking, what if I mess up? Or what if I'm not good enough? Aries thrives on directness, but in the 12th house, you may avoid confrontation, fearing it will lead to rejection or isolation. This can cause you to suppress your feelings or desires. So, this may show up where you might have stayed quiet to keep the peace, even when something didn't feel right. Aries is a powerhouse of energy, but in the 12th house, this power might feel intimidating. You might worry that expressing your strength or confidence will make you seem aggressive or unlikable. This can show up where you might downplay your ideas or passions to avoid standing out too much. What may be holding you back are overthinking bold moves, avoidance of leadership, or suppressing your inner fire. Instead of following your instincts, you might second guess yourself, letting fear or doubt take over. This can leave you stuck in a cycle of hesitation and regret. Reflect on moments where overthinking stopped you from taking action and how that felt afterwards. Aries' natural leadership qualities might feel inaccessible in the 12th house, making you shy away from stepping into the spotlight or taking charge. Consider where you're holding back in work, relationships, or creative projects out of fear of responsibility or judgment. You might feel disconnected from your drive and passion, fearing it's too much or that you'll fail if you let it out. This suppression can lead to frustration or self doubt. Acknowledge the ways that you've held back your natural ambition and what it cost you emotionally. To achieve healing and transformation for this placement, the first step is to take small risks daily. Start stepping out of your comfort zone in manageable ways, whether it's speaking up in a meeting, posting your ideas online, or trying something new. Small risks build courage over time. Remind yourself that failure is a part of growth, not a reason to stop. Another step you can take is to reconnect with your passion. Revisit activities or hobbies that make you feel alive and excited, whether it's fitness, art, or a creative project. Reigniting your passion can reconnect you with your Aries fire. Set aside time weekly for something that fuels your soul and reminds you of your unique gifts. Next is to practice assertive communication. Use I statements to express your needs and boundaries clearly without feeling guilty. For example, I need time to focus on this project, or I'm not comfortable with that. Start small by practicing in safe environments, like with close friends or family. Some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes root chakra balancing. Aries rules the head, but balancing your root chakra, which is the center of stability and security, can help ground your fiery energy. Meditate with grounding crystals like red jasper or garnet. During meditation, visualize a red flame at the base of your spine, fueling your courage and strength. Another practice you can incorporate is solar plexus activation. Aries thrives on confidence, so focus on strengthening your solar plexus. Try yoga poses like warrior or sun salutations to embody your inner strength. Use affirmations like, I take bold action and trust in my abilities. You can also incorporate fire element rituals. Aries is a fire sign, so work with candles or fire to release fears and ignite your inner power. Write down a fear you're ready to let go of, then safely burn the paper while visualizing yourself stepping into confidence. Follow up with a gratitude practice, focusing on your strengths and accomplishments. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts. You can ask yourself, what bold action am I afraid to take and why? Where am I holding back in my life and what's stopping me? How can I embrace failure as a stepping stone to success? And what small step can I take today to reclaim my confidence and courage? Your 12th house in Aries reminds you that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about acting in spite of fear. By embracing your inner fire, taking small risks, and trusting in your abilities, you'll unlock the confident, bold, and unstoppable version of yourself that's ready to shine. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Taurus in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of stability, self-worth, and material security. Taurus is the sign of comfort, abundance, and grounding. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel elusive or repressed, making it difficult to feel secure and confident in yourself or your life. Some fears and blocks that come with this placement include fear of instability, fear of scarcity, and fear of letting go of comfort. With Taurus in your 12th house, you may have a subconscious fear of losing your financial or material stability. This fear can manifest as clinging too tightly to security or avoiding risk altogether. This can show up where you feel uneasy when your financial situation or routine changes, even slightly. This fear might be keeping you from exploring new opportunities. Taurus thrives on abundance, but in the 12th house, you may struggle with an inner belief that there's not enough, whether it's money, love, or resources. This may show up where you find yourself hoarding resources, staying in unfulfilling relationships, or resisting change out of fear of losing what you already have. You may fear stepping outside of your comfort zone, clinging to familiar routines or relationships, even when they no longer serve you. This can show up where you may avoid pursuing your dreams because it feels safer to stick with what's familiar. Now, what may be holding you back is attachment to the physical world, underestimating your self worth, and resistance to change. Taurus in the 12th house can create a deep attachment to material possessions or physical comfort, which might prevent you from exploring emotional or spiritual growth. Reflect on how focusing too much on external stability might be limiting your inner growth and fulfillment. Now, you might struggle with feeling good enough, leading you to undervalue your talents, ideas, or contributions. Consider how this self doubt might be keeping you from asking for what you deserve, whether in relationships, career, or life in general. Taurus energy loves routine, but in the 12th house, this can lead to resisting the very changes that could bring growth and healing. Ask yourself where you've been holding on to the familiar out of fear and how letting go could open new doors. To achieve healing and transformation with this placement, the first step you can take is to redefine security. Shift your focus from external stability, such as money, possessions, or relationships, to internal security. Cultivate confidence in your ability to adapt and thrive, no matter the circumstances. Remind yourself that true stability comes from within. It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way. Next is to embrace gratitude for abundance. Practice daily gratitude for the abundance you already have. Write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for each day to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Focus on the non-material aspects of your life, like relationships, health, and personal growth. Next is to take small steps out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself to step into the unknown in small ways, whether it's trying a new activity, pursuing a new goal, or making a financial investment in your growth. Remind yourself, growth happens when I step outside my comfort zone. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes an earth-based ritual. So connect with Taurus's earthy energy through grounding practices like walking barefoot outside, taking care of your houseplants, or meditating outdoors. During these practices, visualize yourself rooted like a tree, drawing strength and stability from the earth. Another is an abundance manifestation ritual. Use Taurus's connection to abundance to set financial or personal growth intentions. Light a green candle, hold a citrine crystal, and visualize your goals as if they've already come true. Pair this with affirmations like, I am worthy of abundance in all forms. And finally, incorporate self-worth affirmations. Practice affirmations that reinforce your inherent value, such as, I am enough just as I am. I trust myself to create stability and abundance. I release fear and embrace my worthiness. And finally, some journaling prompts that you can reflect on are: what am I holding on to out of fear of losing stability? Where am I undervaluing myself? And how can I change that? How can I redefine security in a way that feels empowering? And what small step can I take today to move outside my comfort zone? Your 12th house in Taurus reminds you that true stability and abundance begin within. By releasing fears around scarcity, stepping outside your comfort zone, and embracing your inherent worth, you'll unlock a life that feels secure, fulfilling, and aligned with your highest self. Remember, you are worthy of abundance in all forms. Trust yourself to create it. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments, and be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Gemini in your 12th house, this means that your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of communication, curiosity, and adaptability. Gemini is the sign of intellect, connection, and self expression. But in the 12th house, this energy can feel repressed, creating challenges with speaking your truth, trusting your voice, or feeling confident in your ideas. Some fears and blocks that you may experience with this placement includes fear of expressing yourself, fear of being misunderstood, or fear of mental overload. With Gemini in your 12th house, you may subconsciously fear judgment, rejection, or misunderstanding when you share your thoughts or ideas. This fear can lead to holding back or avoiding communication altogether. This can show up where you overthink what you say or stay silent even when you have something valuable to contribute. Deep down, you might worry that your thoughts or feelings won't be taken seriously, making you hesitant to open up or share your truth. This can show up where you might have felt frustrated because no one seemed to truly get you, even when you tried to explain yourself. Gemini thrives on curiosity and learning, but in the 12th house, this can manifest as mental overwhelm or fear of not knowing enough. This can lead to avoiding intellectual challenges or overloading yourself with information. This can show up where you might find yourself procrastinating on learning something new or feeling paralyzed by too many options. Now, what could be holding you back with this placement includes overthinking and second guessing, struggling to find your voice, as well as difficulty trusting your intuition. Gemini's natural curiosity can turn into overanalysis in the 12th house, leaving you stuck in cycles of doubt or indecision. Reflect on how overthinking might be stopping you from taking action or trusting your instincts. You might suppress your opinions or ideas, worrying they aren't good enough or fearing confrontation. Think about the ways staying silent has held you back in relationships, work, or personal growth. Gemini's logical nature may clash with the 12th house intuitive energy, making it hard for you to trust gut feelings or non-linear thinking. Consider how relying solely on logic might be limiting your ability to connect with your deeper truths. To achieve healing and transformation with this placement, one step you can take is to speak your truth in small ways. Practice sharing your thoughts and feelings in low pressure settings, such as journaling, close conversations, or casual discussions. Build your confidence in expressing yourself gradually. Remind yourself that your voice matters, even if it doesn't feel perfect. Another step is to simplify your mental space. So focus on one idea, goal, or subject at a time to avoid mental overload. Break big tasks into smaller, manageable steps to stay productive without feeling overwhelmed. Use tools like to-do list or mind mapping to organize your thoughts and reduce overthinking. Also, trust your intuition. Combine Gemini's love of knowledge with intuitive practices. For example, meditate or free write before making a big decision to connect with your inner guidance. Remind yourself that you don't need all the answers to move forward. Trusting your instincts is just as valuable. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate include throat chakra healing. Work on clearing and balancing your throat chakra to strengthen your communication and self-expression. Use blue crystals like aquamarine or lapis lazuli during meditation. Repeat affirmations like, "My voice is clear, confident, and powerful." Another is breath work for mental clarity. Gemini rules the lungs, so breath work can help calm mental chatter and bring clarity. Try deep belly breathing or alternate nostril breathing to center yourself. Use breath work before engaging in conversations or tackling big tasks to ground your energy. And finally, incorporate daily mindful journaling. So set aside 5 to 10 minutes each day to write about your thoughts, fears, or ideas. This practice helps you to process emotions and clarify your inner voice. End each journaling session with a positive affirmation or gratitude statement. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, where am I holding back my voice and why? What ideas or thoughts am I afraid to share with the world? How can I simplify my mental space to feel more at ease? And what steps can I take to trust my intuition and inner wisdom more? Your 12th house in Gemini reminds you that your voice matters and your ideas are worth sharing. By releasing fears of judgment, simplifying your mental space, and trusting your intuition, you'll uncover the confidence and clarity needed to step into your full power. Remember, your thoughts and words have the power to inspire, heal, and create meaningful connections. Don't be afraid to share them. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Cancer in your 12th house, this means that your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of emotional security, nurturing, and vulnerability. Cancer is the sign of deep emotional connection, home, and intuition. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel repressed or overwhelming. This placement often points to fears around emotional expression, dependency, or truly allowing yourself to feel safe. Some fears and blocks that you may experience with this placement include fear of vulnerability, fear of abandonment, or fear of emotional dependency. With Cancer in your 12th house, you may fear letting others see your emotional side, worrying it might make you seem weak or lead to rejection. This can result in bottling up your emotions or avoiding close connections. This can show up where you might put up a brave front even when you're deeply hurt or overwhelmed, just to avoid appearing vulnerable to others. Cancer thrives on emotional security, but in the 12th house, you may subconsciously fear being abandoned or unloved if you show your true self. This can show up where you might find yourself clinging to people, routines, or situations that no longer serve you simply to avoid feeling alone. You may worry about becoming too dependent on others or losing your independence in relationships, causing you to isolate yourself emotionally. This can show up where you might hold back from asking for help or support, fearing that it might make you seem needy. What may be holding you back includes suppressing emotional needs, difficulty trusting your intuition, as well as over attachment to the past. Cancer in the 12th house can lead to denying your emotional needs, prioritizing others' comfort over your own. Reflect on where you're neglecting your feelings or avoiding asking for support, even when you truly need it. Cancer is highly intuitive, but in the 12th house, you might struggle to trust your inner voice, doubting your instincts, or second guessing your feelings. Consider how ignoring your intuition has kept you from making decisions that feel right for you. The 12th house can amplify Cancer's tendency to hold on to past emotions, relationships, or experiences, making it hard to move forward. Ask yourself where you might be clinging to old patterns or memories and how letting go could create space for growth. To achieve healing and transformation with this placement, some steps that you can take include honoring your emotions. Allow yourself to feel and express your emotions without judgment. Start small by journaling or talking to someone you trust about how you feel. Remind yourself that expressing emotions isn't a weakness, it's a sign of strength and self awareness. Build a routine or environment that makes you feel safe and nurtured, whether it's setting boundaries, creating a cozy home space, or practicing self care. Think of your emotional safety as the foundation for all other areas of your life. Use rituals to release emotional baggage, like writing down what you're ready to let go of and burning it or even burying it. Replace old memories with new, empowering affirmations like, I release the past and embrace the present with love. Some spiritual practices that you can incorporate with this placement includes heart chakra healing. Work on balancing your heart chakra to heal emotional wounds and open yourself to love and connection. Use pink or green crystals like rose quartz or green aventurine during meditation. Pair this with affirmations like, my heart is open and I trust myself to give and receive love freely. You can also incorporate water rituals for emotional release. Cancer is ruled by water, making water-based rituals especially healing for you. Take a cleansing bath with sea salt or essential oils, visualizing negative emotions washing away. Use this time to connect with your emotions, allowing them to flow without resistance. And finally, incorporate moon cycles and manifestation. Cancer is deeply connected to the moon, so align with lunar phases to set intentions and release blocks. Use the new moon for setting emotional goals and the full moon for letting go. Create a lunar journal to track your emotions and intentions during each phase. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, what emotions am I afraid to express and why? How can I create a sense of emotional safety for myself? What past experiences or memories am I holding on to, and how can I release them? What does emotional vulnerability mean to me, and how can I embrace it? Your 12th house in Cancer reminds you that your emotions are a source of power, not something to fear. By honoring your feelings, creating emotional safety, and releasing the past, you'll unlock a deep sense of inner peace and connection. Remember, true strength comes from allowing yourself to be vulnerable and trusting in the flow of life. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Leo in your 12th house, this means that your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of self expression, confidence, and recognition. Leo is the sign of creativity, leadership, and shining your light. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel suppressed, making it difficult to fully step into your power or feel seen. Some fears and blocks that may come with this placement includes fear of being seen, fear of rejection, and fear of failure. With Leo in your 12th house, you may fear stepping into the spotlight or worry about judgment when you express yourself authentically. This fear can lead to playing small or hiding your talents. This may show up where you downplay your ideas, creativity, or accomplishments, thinking, what if I'm not good enough? Deep down, you might worry about not being accepted or loved for who you are, which can cause you to seek external validation or avoid sharing your true self. This can show up where you've hesitated to share something you're passionate about, fearing others won't appreciate or understand it. Leo thrives on success, but in the 12th house, this can create a subconscious fear of failure, causing you to hold back from pursuing your dreams. This could show up where you stop yourself from trying something new, thinking, what if I fail and everyone sees? Some things that may be holding you back with this placement includes hiding your creative gifts, seeking external validation, or doubting your leadership potential. Leo in your 12th house can lead to suppressing your creativity, fearing it's not good enough, or worrying about how others will perceive it. Reflect on where you've been holding back your ideas, projects, or talents, and how sharing them could enrich your life and others. You might rely on others' approval to feel confident, which can leave you feeling insecure or unfulfilled when that validation isn't there. Consider how shifting your focus to self acceptance could help you feel more empowered. Leo's natural leadership qualities might feel inaccessible in the 12th house, making you hesitant to take charge or lead others. Ask yourself where you've been avoiding leadership roles out of fear and how stepping into them could help you grow. To achieve healing and transformation with this placement, the first step that you can take is to celebrate your wins. Start acknowledging and celebrating your accomplishments, no matter how small. Whether it's journaling about your successes or treating yourself, this builds self-confidence. Remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to others' opinions. It's inherent in who you are. Also, express yourself creatively. Channel Leo's creative energy into a passion project or artistic creativity, whether it's painting, writing, or dancing. Allow yourself to create without judgment or expectation. Focus on the joy of the process rather than the outcome. Your creativity is for you first. And Step into the spotlight gradually. Practice being more visible in small ways, like speaking up in a meeting, sharing a photo on social media, or joining a group where you can showcase your talents. Remember, taking small steps builds the courage to embrace larger opportunities. Some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes solar plexus chakra activation. Work on strengthening your solar plexus chakra. This is the energy center of confidence and personal power. You can do this by meditating with yellow crystals like citrine or tiger's eye. Repeat affirmations like, I am confident, radiant, and worthy of recognition. You can also incorporate a fire element ritual. Leo is ruled by fire, so incorporate fire rituals like lighting a candle and visualizing yourself shining brightly. Use this time to release fears and set empowering intentions. Write down a fear of being seen or heard and safely burn the paper as a symbolic act of letting it go. You can also incorporate mirror work. Stand in front of a mirror and speak affirmations aloud, focusing on making eye contact with yourself. Say things like, I am proud of who I am, or I deserve to take up space. Use this practice to build self-acceptance and connection with your inner self. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, what fears are holding me back from expressing my creativity? How can I celebrate my accomplishments without relying on external validation? Where am I playing small? And what would stepping into my power look like? And what leadership qualities do I have? And how can I use them to inspire others? Your 12th house in Leo reminds you that you are born to shine. By releasing fears of rejection, embracing your creativity, and stepping into your natural leadership, you'll unlock your inner brilliance and inspire others in the process. Remember, your light isn't just for you. It's meant to brighten the world around you. Let yourself be seen and watch the magic unfold. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Virgo in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of perfectionism, control, and service. Virgo is the sign of organization, health, and practicality. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel repressed or distorted, leading to self criticism, overthinking, or fear of letting go. Some fears and blocks that you may have with this placement includes fear of imperfection, fear of losing control, as well as fear of vulnerability in service. With Virgo in your 12th house, you may have a deep fear of making mistakes or not being good enough. This can lead to overanalyzing yourself or avoiding situations where you might fail. This can show up where you procrastinate on starting something because you're worried it won't be perfect. Virgo craves structure, but in the 12th house, this can create anxiety around uncertainty or letting go of control. So you might struggle to trust that things will work out if you're not managing every detail. This can show up where you find it hard to relax because your mind is constantly running through your to-do list. You might fear that your efforts to help others will go unnoticed or unappreciated, leading you to either overgive or avoid stepping into supportive roles altogether. This can show up where you might feel drained or resentful because you gave too much without receiving anything in return. Now, what may be holding you back with this placement includes overanalyzing and self-criticism, struggling with boundaries, as well as difficulty surrendering. Virgo in the 12th house can lead to excessive self-criticism or overthinking, making it hard to trust yourself or feel confident in your decisions. Reflect on how perfectionism might be holding you back from taking risks or enjoying the process of learning and growing. You might feel compelled to serve others, sometimes at the expense of your own well-being. This can lead to burnout or resentment. Consider how saying no or setting limits could protect your energy and help you give from a place of abundance. The 12th house asks for surrender, but Virgo's need for precision can make it hard for you to let go of control and trust the flow of life. Reflect on where you've been holding on too tightly and how releasing control could create space for new opportunities. To achieve some healing and transformation with this placement, one step that you can take is to embrace imperfection. Start small by allowing yourself to make mistakes without judgment, whether it's trying a new hobby, speaking up in a group, or tackling a project. Remind yourself that progress matters more than perfection. Use affirmations like, I am allowed to grow and learn at my own pace. Next is to prioritize self-care. Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. This could include mindfulness practices, nourishing meals, or scheduling downtime to recharge. Treat self-care as a responsibility to yourself, just like you would honor commitments to others. Also, let go of overthinking. When you find yourself spiraling into overanalysis, pause and focus on the present moment. Use grounding techniques like deep breathing or journaling to bring clarity. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do right now to move forward? Some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes meditation for quieting the mind. So practice mindfulness or guided meditations to calm your inner critic and reconnect with your inner peace. Focus on releasing the need to control everything. During meditation, visualize yourself surrounded by a soft, healing light that reminds you it's okay to simply be. You can also incorporate earth element rituals. Virgo is an earth sign, so grounding practices like taking care of your houseplants, walking in nature, or working with earth-toned crystals like moss agate or jasper can help you to feel more centered. Use these practices to remind yourself that growth is a natural, imperfect process. You can also journal for clarity. So write down your fears, worries, or perfectionistic thoughts. Then challenge them by listing reasons why they're not true or how you can approach them with more self-compassion. Pair this with a gratitude journal to shift your focus toward what's going well in your life. Some reflecting journaling prompts that you can ask yourself includes, what am I afraid of if things don't go perfectly? Where am I overthinking or over-controlling, and how can I let go? How can I set healthier boundaries in my life? And what does self-compassion look like for me, and how can I practice it daily? Your 12th house in Virgo reminds you that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. By releasing fears of imperfection, embracing self care, and letting go of the need to control everything, you'll find the peace, clarity, and fulfillment you've been searching for. Remember, your value isn't in what you do, it's in who you are. Trust that you're enough, just as you are. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Libra in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of relationships, harmony, and self worth. Libra is the sign of balance, beauty, and connection. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel suppressed, creating challenges around codependency, indecision, or feeling like you need external validation to feel complete. Some fears and blocks that you may experience with this placement includes fear of conflict or disapproval, fear of being alone, as well as fear of making the wrong choice. With Libra in your 12th house, you may fear confrontation or upsetting others. This fear can lead to avoiding difficult conversations, prioritizing others' needs over your own, or suppressing your true feelings. This can show up where you find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do just to keep the peace. Deep down, you may have a fear of loneliness or isolation, which can cause you to stay in relationships or friendships that no longer serve you. This can show up where you hold on to relationships out of fear of being alone, even when you know they're not right for you. Libra thrives on fairness and balance, but in the 12th house, this energy can turn into indecision or overthinking, leaving you stuck in analysis paralysis. This can show up where you hesitate to make decisions, worrying they might upset the balance or lead to regret. Some things that can be holding you back with this placement includes prioritizing others over yourself, difficulty setting boundaries, as well as avoiding authenticity. Libra in the 12th house can lead to a tendency to put others first, often at the expense of your own needs or desires. Reflect on where you've sacrificed your own happiness or well being to keep others happy and how it's impacted you. You might struggle to establish healthy boundaries, fearing that saying no will lead to rejection or disapproval. Consider how setting boundaries could create more harmony and respect in your relationships. You might hide your true self to fit in or avoid conflict, but this can lead to feeling disconnected from who you really are. Reflect on how staying authentic, even when it's uncomfortable, could bring more genuine connections into your life. Now, to achieve healing and transformation with this placement, the first action you can take is to prioritize your needs. Practice identifying and honoring your own needs. Start small by saying no to things that don't align with your values or energy. Remind yourself that taking care of yourself first doesn't make you selfish. It allows you to give from a place of abundance. Next is to embrace solitude. Spend time alone to reconnect with yourself and discover what truly brings you joy and fulfillment outside of relationships. Use this time to explore your interests, hobbies, and passions without external influences. And decide with confidence. So, when you're faced with any indecision, practice trusting your instincts and making choices based on what feels right for you rather than trying to please others. Tell yourself, it's okay to make mistakes. Every decision is a chance to learn and grow. Some spiritual practices that you can incorporate for this placement includes heart chakra healing. So focus on balancing and healing your heart chakra. You can use rose quartz or jade during meditation to open yourself to self-love and compassion. Repeat affirmations like, I am worthy of love and connection just as I am. Another is mirror work for self-acceptance. Stand in front of a mirror and speak loving, affirming words to yourself. Acknowledge your worthiness and beauty both inside and out. Use this practice daily to rebuild self-worth and strengthen your connection with yourself. And use visualization for boundaries. So visualize a protective bubble around you, allowing in only positive energy and keeping out negativity. Use this visualization before entering situations that might drain you. Pair this with the affirmation, I protect my energy and set boundaries with ease. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, where am I sacrificing my needs to keep others happy? And how can I change that? What relationships or patterns no longer align with my highest good? How can I create more balance between giving and receiving in my life? And what would it feel like to prioritize my own happiness without guilt? Your 12th house in Libra reminds you that balance starts within. By prioritizing your needs, embracing your authentic self, and setting healthy boundaries, you'll create harmony in your life and relationships. Remember, you don't have to sacrifice your happiness to keep the peace. True connection comes from being your most authentic self. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Scorpio in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of power, transformation, and vulnerability. Scorpio is the sign of depth, rebirth, and emotional intensity. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel overwhelming or suppressed, creating fears around trust, intimacy, and embracing your true power. Some fears and blocks that may come with this placement includes fear of losing control, fear of betrayal, as well as fear of emotional depth. With Scorpio in your 12th house, you may have a deep fear of surrendering control, whether that's over your emotions, relationships, or life circumstances. This can lead to resisting change or avoiding vulnerability. This can show up where you might hold on to people, situations, or emotions longer than you should, afraid of what might happen if you let go. Scorpio in this house often carries subconscious fears of betrayal, rejection, or being exposed. This can lead to a guarded nature or reluctance to fully trust others. This can show up where you have kept people at arm's length, even when you wanted deeper connections, because you feared being hurt. You may also fear your own emotional intensity, worrying that it's too much or that facing it will be overwhelming. This can result in avoiding deep self-reflection or suppressing feelings. So this may show up where you find yourself numbing or distracting from uncomfortable emotions, like through work, entertainment, or overthinking. Now, some things that may be holding you back with this placement includes suppressing emotional healing, avoiding intimacy and trust, as well as fear of your own power. Scorpio in the 12th house can make you avoid the shadow work needed to heal old wounds or release emotional baggage. This suppression may keep you stuck in recurring patterns. Reflect on how avoiding emotional healing might be holding you back from creating deeper connections and personal freedom. You also may struggle with opening up to others, fearing that vulnerability will lead to betrayal or rejection. This can prevent you from building the meaningful relationships you crave. Consider how trusting yourself first can create a foundation for trusting others. Scorpio's transformative energy can feel intimidating in the 12th house, leading you to downplay your potential or avoid stepping into leadership roles. Ask yourself where you've been holding back your power and how fully embracing it could change your life. Now, some steps that you can take to achieve healing and transformation for this placement includes embracing shadow work. Explore your subconscious fears, triggers, and emotional wounds through shadow work. Journaling, therapy, or guided meditations can help you process and heal. Remind yourself that your shadows are not something to fear. They're an essential part of your growth and transformation. Another step you can take is to simply release what no longer serves you. Practice letting go of people, beliefs, or habits that keep you stuck. Create rituals to release emotional attachments, like writing them down and burning the paper. Pair this with affirmations like, I release what no longer serves my highest good. And trust yourself first. Build trust within yourself by honoring your intuition and following through on your commitments. The more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to trust others. Start small by trusting your instincts in everyday situations, like choosing what feels right or making quick decisions. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes deep emotional cleansing rituals. So use Scorpio's connection to water and transformation to create cleansing rituals. Take a salt bath, meditate near water, or use essential oils like patchouli or cedarwood to ground yourself. During these practices, visualize old energy washing away and making space for renewal. You can also work with Pluto's energy. Now, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of rebirth and transformation. Use this energy in rituals that focus on letting go and starting anew. Light a black or dark red candle to symbolize transformation. Meditate on what you're ready to release and what you want to call in during this next chapter. And finally, use crystal healing for trust and power. Use crystals like obsidian or black tourmaline to ground and protect your energy, as well as rose quartz to invite self-compassion and healing. Keep these crystals nearby during meditation or journaling to enhance your practice. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, what emotions or fears am I avoiding and why? Where in my life am I holding on too tightly, and how can I begin to let go? How can I create more trust in myself and my relationships? And what parts of my shadow self am I ready to embrace and transform? Your 12th house in Scorpio reminds you that true strength comes from transformation and vulnerability. By facing your fears, embracing your emotional depth, and trusting in your ability to rise from challenges, you'll unlock the incredible power and resilience within you. Remember, your greatest breakthroughs often come from the spaces you fear the most. Step into them and watch yourself transform. If this resonated with you, Definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Sagittarius in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of freedom, exploration, and belief systems. Sagittarius is the sign of adventure, wisdom, and expansion. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel suppressed, creating fears around stepping into the unknown, trusting your faith, or letting go of rigid thinking. Now, some fears and blocks that you may experience with this placement includes fear of the unknown, fear of questioning beliefs, as well as a fear of freedom and responsibility. With Sagittarius in your 12th house, you may subconsciously fear stepping out of your comfort zone, whether it's exploring new opportunities, traveling, or taking a leap of faith. This can lead to feeling stuck in routines or avoiding risk altogether. This can show up where you might stop yourself from chasing big dreams, worrying that you might fail or lose control along the way. Sagittarius is tied to philosophy and belief systems, but in the 12th house, you might struggle with reevaluating old beliefs or traditions that no longer serve you. This can make you feel stuck in outdated patterns or fearful of change. This can show up as you feeling torn between clinging to what's familiar and exploring new ideas or perspectives. You may also crave freedom, but fear what happens when you achieve it. This can lead to self-sabotage or procrastination when pursuing your goals. This can show up where you find yourself dreaming of big goals, but never quite taking the steps to make them happen. Now, some things that may be holding you back with this placement includes limiting beliefs, avoiding exploration, or struggles with trust. Sagittarius in the 12th house can make you cling to old belief systems, limiting your growth and keeping you from fully embracing new possibilities. Reflect on what beliefs you've outgrown and how letting them go could open new doors in your life. You might resist exploring new experiences or stepping into unfamiliar territory, fearing failure or rejection. Consider how avoiding new opportunities might be keeping you from living a life of adventure and fulfillment. You may also struggle to trust in the universe, fearing that letting go of control will lead to chaos. Reflect on how trusting the flow of life could bring greater peace and freedom. Now, some steps that you can take to achieve healing and transformation for this placement includes challenging your beliefs. Take time to question the beliefs, traditions, or thought patterns that you've held on to. Are they still serving you or are they holding you back? Seek out new ideas that inspire and excite you. Remind yourself that growth often comes from challenging the familiar and embracing the unknown. Next is to take one bold step. Start stepping out of your comfort zone by trying something new, whether it's a class, a solo trip, or a new project. Build confidence in your ability to navigate change. Tell yourself, every step forward is a step closer to my highest potential. And reconnect with joy and adventure. So find ways to bring more adventure into your life, even in small ways. This could mean exploring a new part of your city, learning a new skill, or saying yes to opportunities that excite you. Focus on the journey, not just the destination, and remind yourself that life is meant to be explored. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate for this placement includes traveling as a spiritual practice. So Plan a trip or experience that takes you out of your daily routine and expands your perspective. This doesn't have to be far. Local exploration can be just as impactful. Use the experiences to reflect on what freedom and expansion means to you. Also, create a meditation for trust and flow. Practice meditations that focus on surrendering control and trusting the flow of life. Visualize yourself stepping into the unknown with confidence and ease. Use affirmations like, I trust the universe to guide me toward my highest good. And explore higher learning. So dive into topics that inspire you, such as philosophy, spirituality, or personal development. Take a course, read a book, or listen to a podcast that expands your understanding of the world. Pair learning with reflection by asking, how can this knowledge help me grow? And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, what beliefs or routines are no longer serving me, and how can I release them? Where am I holding back from exploring new opportunities, and why? What does freedom mean to me, and how can I create more of it in my life? And how can I trust the process of life and embrace the unknown with confidence? Your 12th house in Sagittarius reminds you that freedom and growth come from stepping into the unknown with trust and courage. By releasing limiting beliefs, embracing adventure, and reconnecting with your inner explorer, you'll unlock the wisdom and potential that's always been within you. Remember, life isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey, and yours is meant to be extraordinary. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Capricorn in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of responsibility, success, and structure. Capricorn is the sign of discipline, ambition, and long-term goals. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel heavy or suppressed, creating fears around failure, worthiness, or trusting yourself to succeed. Some fears and blocks that may come with this placement includes fear of failure, fear of burden, as well as a fear of being unsupported. With Capricorn in your 12th house, you may subconsciously fear not meeting your own or others' expectations. This fear can lead to procrastination, perfectionism, or avoiding big goals altogether. This can show up where you might hold yourself back from starting something new, worrying that you won't live up to the high standards you've set for yourself. You might fear being overwhelmed by responsibility or worry that success will come at the expense of your personal freedom or well-being. This can show up where you might avoid taking on new opportunities because you're afraid they'll be too much to handle. Capricorn's energy often feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. In the 12th house, you may fear that no one is there to support you or that you must do everything alone. This can show up where you might feel like you can't ask for help even when you're struggling because you believe that you should handle everything on your own. Now, some things that may be holding you back with this placement includes unrealistic expectations, avoidance of vulnerability, as well as difficulty letting go of control. Capricorn in the 12th house can make you hold yourself to impossibly high standards, leaving you feeling like nothing you do is ever enough. Reflect on where you might be setting goals that are more about perfection than progress, and how this might be stopping you from taking action. You might resist admitting when you need help, fearing it will make you appear weak or incapable. Consider how allowing yourself to receive support could actually strengthen your path to success. Capricorn thrives on structure, but in the 12th house, this can create resistance to letting go of control or trusting the unknown. Reflect on how holding on to control might be limiting your ability to grow and adapt. Now, some steps that you can take to achieve healing and transformation for this placement is first to redefine success. Reflect on what success truly means to you, beyond external validation or societal expectations. Align your goals with what brings you personal fulfillment. Ask yourself, what would success look like if I removed everyone else's expectations from the equation? Next is to build a support network. Practice reaching out to trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues when you need guidance or support. Remember, leaning on others doesn't diminish your strength. View collaboration and connection as essential building blocks of your success. And start small and stay consistent. Break down big goals into manageable steps, focusing on steady progress rather than immediate perfection. Celebrate small wins along the way. And use the mantra, small steps lead to big achievements. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate also is grounding rituals for stability. Now, Capricorn is an earth sign, so grounding rituals like walking barefoot outside, meditating with earth tone crystals such as black tourmaline or smoky quartz, as well as journaling can help you to feel secure and focused. Use these rituals to remind yourself that you are capable of handling challenges with grace and resilience. You can also do a Capricorn-inspired goal-setting ritual. Create a ritual around setting realistic, aligned goals. Light a candle, write down your intentions, and visualize yourself achieving them step by step. Pair this with affirmations like, I am capable of achieving success at my own pace. And finally, embrace rest as a discipline. Incorporate restorative practices like yoga, mindfulness, or intentional rest into your routine. These will help balance Capricorn's ambitious energy with much needed relaxation. Treat rest as a non-negotiable part of your success strategy. And some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, what fears do I have around success and where do they come from? How can I redefine success in a way that feels authentic to me? What responsibilities or expectations am I ready to release? And how can I allow myself to receive support while staying aligned with my goals? With your 12th house in Capricorn, it reminds you that success is not about carrying the weight of the world alone. It's about creating a foundation of trust, balance, and self-compassion. By releasing fears of failure, redefining what success means to you, and embracing support, you'll unlock the ability to build a life that feels both meaningful and sustainable. And remember, you don't have to do it all alone. The universe is here to support you every step of the way. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Aquarius in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of individuality, innovation, and connection to the collective. Aquarius is the sign of originality, freedom, and humanitarianism, But in the 12th house, its energy can feel suppressed, creating fears around being misunderstood, excluded, or unable to make an impact. Now, some fears and blocks that may come with this placement includes a fear of being misunderstood or different, a fear of rejection from the group, as well as a fear of powerlessness. With Aquarius in your 12th house, you may subconsciously fear that your ideas, personality, or perspective are too unconventional to be accepted. This can lead to hiding your uniqueness or trying to conform. This can show up where you might tone yourself down or hesitate to share your ideas, thinking they're too out there or won't be appreciated. Aquarius values community, but in the 12th house, you might fear being excluded or judged by others. This can lead to isolation or avoiding opportunities to connect. This can show up where you might hold back from joining a group or social circle because you're worried that you won't fit in. You may also fear that your efforts to make a difference or express your individuality won't matter, leading to feelings of hopelessness or discouragement. This can show up where you might feel like no matter how hard you try, you're just one person and can't create meaningful change. Now, some things that may be holding you back with this placement is hiding your authentic self, resisting connection, as well as avoiding change. Aquarius in the 12th house can make you suppress your individuality, fearing it's too much for others to handle. Reflect on where you've been holding back your true self and how embracing your uniqueness could lead to deeper connections. You might also withdraw from groups or communities, fearing rejection or feeling like you don't belong. This can prevent you from finding the collective support you need. Consider how opening yourself up to connection could enrich your life and help you feel less isolated. Aquarius thrives on progress, but in the 12th house, fear of the unknown can make you resist change or cling to outdated patterns. Reflect on where you're resisting change in your life and how letting go could create space for growth and freedom. Now, some steps that you can take to achieve healing and transformation for this placement is to embrace your uniqueness. Give yourself permission to fully express your individuality. Start by sharing your ideas or interests in safe spaces, like with trusted friends or in creative outlets. Remind yourself that your uniqueness is your greatest strength. It's what sets you apart and makes you valuable. You can also join a like-minded community. Seek out groups or communities that align with your values, interests, or passions. Connecting with others who get you can help you to feel seen and supported. Look for online forums, local meetups, or creative collaborations where you can share your ideas and feel part of something bigger. And also, innovate in small steps. Channel Aquarius's innovative energy by starting small projects or initiatives that align with your vision. Focus on what you can do rather than worrying about what feels impossible. Remind yourself that even small actions can create ripple effects that inspire change. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes visualization for confidence. So, visualize yourself standing confidently in a room full of people, sharing your ideas and feeling supported. Use this practice to shift fears of rejection into empowerment. Pair this with affirmations like, "My individuality is my superpower, and I share it with pride." You can also create an air element ritual. So, Aquarius is an air sign. So, focus on practices that connect you to the air element, like breath work or outdoor meditations. Visualize the wind carrying away self-doubt and bringing in clarity and confidence. During breath work, set an intention to release fears and invite in courage to express your authentic self. You can also incorporate dream journaling. Aquarius rules higher thinking and insight. So keep a journal by your bed to record dreams or intuitive ideas. These can reveal subconscious fears or guide you toward breakthroughs. Review your journal weekly to notice patterns or messages that point you toward your purpose. And some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are: what unique qualities or talents am I hiding and why? Where am I resisting connection and how can I open myself to others? How can I trust that my voice and efforts matter, even on a small scale? And what changes or ideas am I ready to embrace? And how can I take the first step? Your 12th house in Aquarius reminds you that your individuality is a gift to the world. By embracing your uniqueness, connecting with like minded communities, and trusting your ability to make a difference, you'll unlock the incredible power of your vision and ideas. Remember, even small, authentic actions can create big changes. Don't be afraid to let your light shine. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. If you have Pisces in your 12th house, this means your hidden fears, subconscious blocks, and karmic lessons are tied to themes of spirituality, compassion, and surrender. Pisces is the sign of dreams, intuition, and divine connection. But in the 12th house, its energy can feel overwhelming or repressed, creating fears around trust, boundaries, and losing yourself in others. Some fears and blocks that come with this placement includes fear of losing yourself, fear of the unknown, as well as a fear of being misunderstood. With Pisces in your 12th house, you may subconsciously fear being overwhelmed by emotions or losing your sense of self in relationships or situations. This can lead to avoiding deep connections or retreating from emotional vulnerability. This can show up where you might find yourself emotionally drained or overextended because you struggle to set boundaries with others. Pisces thrives in the realm of the intangible, but in the 12th house, this can cause anxiety about surrendering control or trusting the universe. This might show up where you resist letting go, fearing that you'll lose direction or stability if you don't hold on tightly to what's familiar. You might fear that your intuitive, dreamy nature will be judged or dismissed by others, leading you to suppress your creative or spiritual gifts. This might show up where you might avoid sharing your deeper thoughts or dreams because you're worried people won't understand or take you seriously. Some things that may be holding you back with this placement includes feeling overwhelmed by emotions, avoidance of spiritual potential, as well as difficulty letting go of illusions. Pisces in the 12th house can make you deeply empathetic, but without boundaries, this can lead to emotional overwhelm or confusion about what feelings are yours versus others. Reflect on how emotional overwhelm might be keeping you from fully expressing yourself or engaging with the world. In avoidance of your spiritual potential, you might suppress your spiritual gifts, fearing they're too much or doubting their validity. This can keep you from accessing your deeper intuition and connection to the divine. Consider how embracing your spirituality could help you feel more grounded and purposeful. You may also hold on to unrealistic expectations or fantasies, which can create disappointment or prevent you from seeing the truth of situations. Reflect on how letting go of illusions can bring greater clarity and peace. Now, some steps that you can take to achieve healing and transformation for this placement is to set clear boundaries. Practice saying no when needed and protect your energy from people or situations that feel draining. Start small by identifying one area in your life where you can establish firmer boundaries. Remind yourself that boundaries are not walls. They're bridges that protect your peace while allowing meaningful connections. Next is to reconnect with your intuition. Spend time tuning into your inner voice through meditation, journaling, or creative activities like writing or painting. Trust the insights that come through without overthinking them. Use affirmations like, I trust my intuition to guide me toward what's right for me. Also, embrace letting go. Practice surrendering control in small ways like trusting the timing of events or releasing perfectionism. This will help you build confidence in the flow of life. Remind yourself, letting go creates space for miracles to unfold. Now, some spiritual practices that you can incorporate includes meditation for clarity. So, create a daily meditation practice to calm your mind and connect with your intuition. Visualize yourself surrounded by a peaceful light, allowing it to wash away fears and doubts. Pair this practice with soothing music or a guided meditation for deeper relaxation. You can also incorporate water cleansing rituals. Pisces is ruled by water, so use water rituals to cleanse your energy. Take a salt bath, spend time near a body of water, or simply visualize negative emotions washing away as you shower. During the ritual, repeat affirmations like, I release what no longer serves me and embrace peace. You can also incorporate dream journaling. So keep a journal by your bed to record your dreams. Pisces rules the dream world, and your subconscious may reveal insights or messages that can guide your healing. Review your dreams weekly to identify patterns or themes that point to unresolved fears or desires. And finally, some reflective journaling prompts that you can ask yourself are, what emotions or situations am I holding on to, and how can I release them? Where in my life am I avoiding boundaries, and how is it impacting me? What does surrender mean to me, and how can I practice it more intentionally? And how can I embrace my spiritual gifts and trust in my connection to the universe? Your 12th house in Pisces reminds you that your empathy, intuition, and spirituality are your greatest strengths. By setting boundaries, embracing your unique gifts, and surrendering to the flow of life, you'll unlock a sense of inner peace and purpose that allows you to shine. Remember, you are deeply connected to the divine and capable of creating a life that feels aligned with your soul's truth. If this resonated with you, definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.